Is that fair?
Understood.
No. Is that fair?
I can see.
Is that fair? That's really a yes or no question.
No.
Thank you.
But my other concern, Judge, is that this was in 2022, why she didn't make a claim with the management that was there of all the other issues. You're now trying to come against the new management that has, been on top of things. It seems disingenuous, Judge, to me.
Period in time. Was the landlord notified of the flooding?
Yes. I can tell you, I spoke with my client and the two maintenance men that are here. Since my client has taken over, there has never been one maintenance request for water in the basement. The maintenance man that is here, I spoke with him briefly before we came in here. The only maintenance requests that we have are no heat, like in furnace. And the last time he was there, which was either end of November, beginning of December, he saw water in the basement. And he asked Miss Meadows, where's this coming from? Why is there water? And she says it's because, and the washer was running at the time. It was from the washer. The maintenance man then did a repair so that he could run a new pipe for the water. He can explain that better if you want him to explain what he did. But to our knowledge, there has been no maintenance request for water in the basement. So, and he has been with Sycamore for 7 years, Judge.
So he was there before the
He was
new
there
management
before.
report.
He was there
That's
before.
was going to be my next question.
Yes.
So we do have texts with the maintenance person from old management about the basement flooding.
But again, I haven't seen those yet either. Which,
Do you? Well, I mean, is there any correspondence or anything to the, no. Any correspondence or anything to the landlord regarding these damages or anything prior to this?
There was a briefly mentioned in August.
I think that was an email from council to me, but is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Okay, but I guess maybe I'll put it this way. Before the attorneys got involved, when everything's peaceful. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Did the tenant communicate with the landlord that there's a problem?
To my knowledge, and that was a question I asked as well, Judge, to my client, and all three of them have said no.
You mentioned to me that you had.
I've called several times and they never answered the phone.
And
Okay, hold on, but at some point, what you're indicating is that there's water in my basement. I call, no one's answering, is what you're telling me. I'm presuming then you continue to call. At some point, somebody answers, do they?
At Sycamore Meadows? No.
Okay, did you put anything in writing to them?
you have the text to the.
I have this, okay, so the last Sycamore Meadows guy, I would text Rob, and in that situation where
Who the heck is Rob?
the old maintenance man, and even when the maintenance man just came in, when he just shared how he walked in and there was a water all over the floor, he literally said, Rob didn't fix this the way he was supposed to, which was the old maintenance man. And
Mr.
even the communication between new maintenance and new leasing, we didn't know.
Oh,
The maintenance man that she's discussing is, he's been deceased now for 2 years.
Rob is not deceased. Robert, the same guy that you said, hey, he didn't fix this when you walked in.
I didn't say that.
I'm talking to the maintenance guy, sorry.
okay. Who installed the washer?
She did. It's her washer, Judge.
So Your Honor, the washer that is currently in there was installed by Rent-A-Center.
Rent-A-Center.
So, okay. So let me ask this. Is everybody in agreement that it's the washer that's causing the flooding?
No, Your Honor, because the first flood occurred before any washer was used.
But was that reported? I mean, it's one thing to come here and tell me we had flooding 2022, but is there a report of that?
There has to be, yes, my whole strip has flooding issues.
I'm not talking about your whole strip. I'm talking about, was there a report of flooding in your unit? Did you report that to management?
Yes.
Did you do that in writing?
When
Did somebody come out after you reported?
Came out. Yes.
And did what, to your understanding?
Plain drained the snake or whatever was causing it, and he had to go to the, sorry to bring it up, the neighbor's house because theirs was draining as well.
Okay,
But
so in the very first time that you noticed the flooding, is that when some of these items were damaged?
yes,
Okay, so then my question becomes, after that point, there was another flood, you're saying, correct? Were items damaged during that flood?
yes,
Okay. Was there another flood?
yes.
And were items damaged during that flood? Okay, so at some point, the problem's going to be if the claim goes forward. After the first flood, she's going to have mitigation issues because she can't just do the same thing and then expect damages. There's also going to be a question of, well, let me ask it this way before I say there's a question. What does plaintiff or what does defendant have to say it's not the wash?
So most of the repairs that we are seeking compensation for occurred in that first flood before the washer was ever used. Additionally, if she was told it was fixed after the first flood, then that.
I didn't ask about your mitigation argument.
Okay.
I asked, my question is, what proofs do you have as to the cause of this water?
Only that it occurred before the washer was ever used and in fact damaged the washer so much that that washer was never used.
So other than there being water there, how are you attributing this to the landlord?
There. And I would just argue that Ms. Meadows was offered a habitable.
Pardon?
Ms. Meadows was offered a habitable building, including a basement that would not be in water, and there was water, and so that.
No, but I mean, maybe I'll structure it this way. There can be a circumstance where the landlord, tenant calls, they don't take care of it, landlord could presumably then be responsible. There could be a circumstance where the landlord doesn't do something and then it causes something to happen and then the landlord will be responsible.
So, Your Honor, our response to that would be that the whole unit and whole building has significant water issues and that the landlord has been on notice of that, and also the fact that numerous maintenance requests are put in and no one is answering.
Yeah, but what kind of water issues?
I sent this all to the court. They came in and fixed it, and I believe they know what I'm talking about. I was having issues with my shower upstairs. It was water coming down from the kitchen and it was all in the basement. There's plumbing issues in that whole building.
Okay, but that's
The reason why I am asking why I'm blaming the landlord is because the washer and dryer that I'm paying for now from Rent Center, I should not even have to pay for it because of the first flood. And they just fixed this water damage.
what does that mean? You shouldn't have to pay for it.
Because she had a washer, but then that washer was damaged in the first flood, so she had to get a new washer that she still made payments on.
Okay, so let me just ask this. That first flood, how much water are we talking?
Up to my calves.
And you're saying that damaged your wash?
Yes.
And what proofs are you going to give to the court to show that?
that is a broken washer and dryer that I'm paying for rent center right now?
No, that I just see significant proof problems because you tell.
This moment exposes one of the biggest issues in the entire case: proof of damages. The judge isn't just asking if something was damaged. He wants real, verifiable evidence. Receipts, expert opinions, documentation, something solid. But instead, we're getting confusion. Was the washer used? Was it installed? Was it already broken? These inconsistencies are dangerous in court because credibility is everything. Once the story starts shifting, the judge begins to question the entire claim. And here's the reality. In civil cases like this, it's not about what you believe happened. It's about what you can prove happened. So ask yourself, if you were the judge, would you trust this testimony so far?
Telling me that a washer and a dryer got damaged. I'm presuming you don't have those.
Still in the basement.
The old ones are. Is there anybody that has said that that damage, that this flooding damaged that washer and dryer?
The old crew from the leasing office. The old leasing office crew.
Can I just,
Said what?
When I told them about it and when I was telling them how I was having broken items from the flood, they were like, well,
Hold on a second. So I thought that there wasn't a washer and dryer before the new washer and dryer.
there was a washer and dryer down there. That's why I'm so,
That was operational.
yes,
But it had never been
I've
operated.
never used it.
It was installed, it had never been used because of the flood that broke it.
I never could use anything in the house because of the bed bugs. Let's start there.
So there was a washer and dryer in the basement. There's always been a washer and dryer.
From my old house, yes. I moved my washer and dryer that I had from my old house to my new house.
I'm not really, I don't know that I care about that. Because I was told there wasn't one, and now I'm told there was one down there. But now you're saying there was one down there and it was never used.
Yes, Your Honor.
it was hers though. It was not my client's. It was hers. And she just said that it was hers from another unit.
So was it hooked up and installed?
No, the first 3 months of me staying in my home, I could not even use my house because I had bed bugs.
But it had been hooked up, right, by your dad? but
My dad
hadn't
hooked
been
it up,
used.
yes, it hadn't been used.
I think the last time we were here, one of the issues was there wasn't netting on the drain house,
That's correct, Judge.
right?
Which we weren't sure if there was or not, right? But you were going to
I
ask.
think it was said it
No, she
wasn't.
said she didn't. Yeah, she
There
said she
wasn't
didn't
one.
put anything on it.
On the hose.
Right.
Not that I can remember. I don't even know what that is. Time for so long.
Well, but if you're there and using it, you would know because you would have to change it occasionally.
Okay.
Right, so there was not something on the post. Very
No.
Okay.
If now there's a washer that's down there that's hooked up, but you're saying not used,
Currently, there is a washer that is being used.
no, but now you're saying, before you said to me there wasn't a washer, that the floods were occurring before there was a washer and dryer.
The floods occurred before the washer and dryer were used, but when they were present in there.
Okay, that's not what you said before, but I now understand. That's what's being said. And you're saying the flooding just happened. I have nothing in writing from the tenant saying that notifying the landlord of this flood.
Correct. It was notified over the phone.
Over the phone, text messaging.
Okay, so listen to what I just said. There's nothing in writing to the landlord informing them of this flood.
I know you had texts later. What did you have texts on what? Okay, we don't believe so, Your Honor.
Well, that's not a statement. you don't believe so, but she would have been the one putting it in writing. So
Right.
did she or didn't she?
Do you remember whether or not you texted the landlord? It's okay if you don't remember, it's okay.
So always just text them. Anytime there's water, I just would text them. I would text Rob. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, can you,
Or that's
can
in
you,
writing.
can you check your text with her?
What are we doing now?
We're checking her texts with the repair person, Rob, to see if there is something in writing. Okay, so there were not texts from agents on writing. There were just.
I'm sorry, there was no text message. So then I'm going to ask the question, if you have the number to text, why didn't, if there's water in your basement as high as you're saying it is, why wouldn't you text the person?
Did you have the number to text at that point?
I would just call me, like I would call the emergency.
Folks,
That was-
no, listen to my question. At some point, you just checked about text messages.
Yes.
And so you're telling me that this water is somewhere up to your knee in the basement. You called. My question is, why didn't you text?
this was right after she moved in. I don't believe that she knew that she could text or knew what number to
Yes,
text.
if you're talking about March 2022, like why, I didn't have his number at that point. The last time I was able to text him was in May when I had got the bed bugs cleared. That's when I got his number, May.
Okay, so now I'll ask the question, when did you get the number to text?
May, when the bed bugs came in, when they finally.
May of what?
2022,
2023?
2023, I'm sorry.
And then there was flooding after that.
Yes,
Is there a text message regarding that flood?
yes,
Okay, did somebody come out?
yes.
Did they abate the flooding?
They removed all the water and they cleaned up down there, yes.
Have you seen those text messages?
No,
Scary.
no, Judge. I was forwarded a copy of the answer while you walked in, Judge, so
Pardon?
I was forwarded a copy of the answer that was,
So you just got that.
yes, Judge. Again,
Did you get the photos with it?
it's in an email, but it
So
literally is,
you
of
haven't looked at it.
course not, Judge. You were walking in and I stood up.
I do have.
Problem I
Like, you're
have,
gonna
though-
blame me?
Hmm?
No.
Problem I have is, well, everything.
Go ahead.
Everything that I delineated before. I have maintenances here. They can tell you that there's been no maintenance for water requests. My maintenance man actually saw the water and that's when he repaired it. Just this year, 2024.
In 2024.
Yes. But he's been there for 7 years, so he's been there the whole time.
So we did report the basement flooding in December 4th. I know that
December 4th of,
of this year. So that is very late in the game, but just confirming that they did at least have that report coming from us.
okay, but understand something.
I also have the texts from May of, oh, you were right, it was May of 2022. I'm sorry.
So what was that?
So these are texts from the Meadows to Sycamore Maintenance, reporting the flooding in her basement.
In 2022?
Yes,
Who is that to?
from Sycamore Maintenance. Do you know last name? I'm not so sure.
No,
Okay, so folks, not saying that you are, but we don't do trial by ambush. We also don't do final settlement conference by ambush. So have you shown those to plaintiff's counsel?
No,
Why not?
we only got this evidence in the last,
What?
we only got this in the last, I apologize. for the late. We've been, the way.
So we're gonna sit up here and discuss something that plaintiff's counsel hasn't seen. Is that fair?
This is one of the most important moments in the entire hearing, and it's about fairness in the legal process. The judge calls out what's known as trial by ambush. That means introducing evidence at the last second without giving the other side a chance to review it. And the court does not allow that. Both sides must have equal access to evidence. It's a fundamental rule of justice. So even if those text messages are important, the way they were presented actually weakens the defense's position. Instead of helping, it creates more doubt and delays the case. The judge stepping in here shows control and also sends a clear message. This courtroom runs on procedure, not surprises.
Understood.
No. Is that fair?
I can see how.
Is that fair? That's really a yes or no question.
No.
Thank you. Why don't we get that over to her? I'm going to pass the matter.
Judge, I don't,
I'll get right back to you.
Oh.
I'm not going to
Okay,
hold your
okay.
people here all day.
I appreciate, I have nothing.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe I will hold them here all day.
you can hold them, but I have to
I've-
be in court in Farmington Hills at 10:30, so. it's-
No way. All right.
Can-
Get those and make the copies so we don't even have that issue. All right, we'll get that. I'm going to call
The
you.
next one is really quick. We're gonna just.
Why didn't
turn
you
that-
let me go? Why didn't you let me lead with that? Or Sycamore Meadows. Recall Sycamore Meadows versus Meadow.
Hearing on behalf of plaintiffs.
Okay.
I've reviewed the text message from speaking with management. At that time, there was actually a portal that maintenance requests were supposed to be put in and only in the portal. Yes, I can see the text message. But my other concern, Judge, is that this was in 2022, why she didn't make a claim with the management that was there of all the other issues. You're now trying to come against the new management that has, been on top of things. It seems disingenuous, Judge, to me. But I mean, the text message is the text message. I don't know that this is actually Sycamore. It just says Sycamore maintenance guy. It doesn't show me the phone number. I can't verify it. Those are all the things that I see in this text message, but bottom line, there was a portal. Maintenance requests were to be put in the portal, not in a text message. And again, these claims should have been made with that management. And it was her washer that was put in the basement first time. I don't know what happened. And it is what it is at this point.
Gotcha.
Your Honor, I'm so sorry. I know that you want this to move quickly, but could I have 5 minutes to speak with my client?
5 minutes. What were we doing while I was doing the other cases?
We were having a conversation.
Okay, let me just do it this way, because I'm not gonna hold them up. If saying it has to be someplace else, and I'm not sure, even after talking to your client, that we're gonna get anywhere today. I want whatever information, paperwork you have regarding any of your claims to get to plaintiff. I think that's the first place we have to start. And then from there, then I'm going to reset the final settlement conference so that it can be something that is meaningful. I think from the defense side, one of the things you're going to have to look at is supposedly she's having these issues, but rent in some form or another is being paid. The court has grave concerns regarding the lack of sort of notification to management in it, as well as the amount of damages. I mean, there's going to be the mitigation issue, certainly, but there's also going to be, I'd like to see what damages you're claiming.
I do have that here if you want. Okay.
But
Make sure everything is sent over.
right, because and the thing is that if I have an old washer, and I just want to make this point, if I have an old washer and dryer and that somehow there's a claim for damages, it's not the price, that the damages would not be the price of that washer and dryer today. Right? It's also not as, I don't know. Ms. Meadow makes a claim that somehow or another, she's paying for this through rent. I don't know that those are damages to her. And so you're going to have to show that to me. I mean, I have no idea whether or not that washer and dryer that was down there would have broken down the next year, and because I don't know anything about it. So I think whatever damages you're claiming, you're going to have a basis to claim those damages. Anything that is personal property, so that you also understand, so that people's expectations can be put someplace correctly. If I buy a new couch, the moment I take it out and somebody sits on that couch, it's not worth what I just paid for. And so as each day goes by, the value of that goes down significantly, especially regarding furniture and regarding other property. So that ought to be kept in mind. How much time are you going to need to get all the information, plaintiff?
Judge, do you want us just to come back on the 28th with the other one? Is that okay with you or no?
That was a whine. She whined at me.
Oh.
She does that. No, she's looking at her scheduling. Would the 28th work for you guys? I'll adjourn this January 28th, 2025, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, folks.
At the end of the day, this case isn't about just flooding. It's about proof, responsibility, and credibility. The tenant claims serious damage, but struggles with documentation, consistency, and proper reporting. The landlord challenges everything, pointing to missing records and alternative causes like the washer. The judge takes a balanced but firm approach, no rush decisions, no assumptions. Instead, he demands proper evidence, clear timelines, and realistic damage claims. And because too many questions remain unanswered, the case is pushed forward for a more structured hearing. This is a perfect example of how real courts operate. It's not about emotions. It's about facts, evidence, and procedure. Now, I want to hear from you. Who do you think is in the right here? The tenant or the landlord? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.